Your Majesty, also during the Emperor and number 39's reign. According to Harun al-Rashid, which I just mentioned, in the city of Baghdad there was a poor porter named Sinbad. On a hot day, he carried a very heavy bundle from one end of the city to the other. He was very tired from walking a long distance and still had a long way to go, so when he came to a street with a cool breeze and the sidewalks were watered with rose water, he felt there was no other place to rest for a while to regain strength. So he placed the bundle of earthen things next to a large house and sat on top of it. He considered himself very wise to stop and rest in this exact place because his sense of smell was awakened by the sweet scent of incense coming from the windows of the house mixed with the scent of rose water. Is interesting. Besides that, he also heard the sound of concerts echoing in the house along with the melodious songs of countless nightingales and birds special to the climate of Baghdad. That soothing melody combined with the fragrant smoke of various meats made him guess that there was definitely some kind of party going on here. He really wanted to know who the owner of this house was because he rarely passed this street, so he didn't and #39 really know. To satisfy his curiosity, he approached several elegantly dressed servants standing at the door and asked one of them the name of the homeowner. "What and number 39's wrong?" The servant replied, "You live in Baghdad and Dawn and number 39. Know that this is the house of the famous traveler Sinbad who has traveled all over the world." The porter, having heard of Sinbad and number 39's immense wealth, could not help but be jealous of a man whose living conditions were as happy as heaven and earth compared to his humble living situation. Feeling numb from those thoughts, he raised his head to the sky and said quite loudly, everyone around could hear, "Oh, mighty Creator, Creator of all species. Please see the difference between Mr. Sinbad and me. How much fatigue and illness torment me every day. I work extremely hard to support my wife and children and feed myself with bad black bread, while the lucky Sinbad spends his money like water, living a life full of joy. Lost. What did he do to receive such a pleasant fate from him? As for you, what have you done to deserve such a miserable life?" Having finished speaking, he stomped his feet on the ground like a person distraught because of pain and disappointment. He was still engrossed in his sad thoughts when he saw a servant come out of the house, walked up to him, grabbed his hand and said, "Please follow me. My boss, Mr. Sinbad, wants to talk to you." And quote. At this point, the morning light prevented Scheherazade from continuing. But the next night, she continued the story like this. And quote. Your Majesty, sir, you can easily guess that Hindbad was not surprised by that invitation. After all the complaints just now, he was afraid that Sinbad had sent him in to cause something bad. So he used the excuse that he could #39 leave the bundle in the middle of the street. But Sinbad and number 39's servant said someone would look after him and force him in, so he had to listen. The family member took him into a large room where there were many people sitting around a table filled with delicious food. At the seat of honor, he saw an imposing man, mature and respectable, with a long white beard, and behind him were a group of servants and servants. That character is Sinbad. The porter, even more confused when he saw the crowd and the luxurious banquet table, trembled and greeted Sinbad, telling him to come closer and, after letting him sit down on his right, personally invited him to eat and drink some delicious wine. "The cupboard is full. At the end of the meal, Sinbad noticed that his guests were no longer eating, so he asked Hindbad if he was considered equal as a brother according to Arab custom when chatting intimately. He asked the guy what his name was and what he did. "Sir," he replied, "my name is Hindbad." "I am very happy to meet my brother," said Sinbad, "and so are all those present here. But I want to hear again what my brother said just now on the street." Before Sinbad sat down to the party, he heard everything he said through a window, so he called him in. Hearing that request, Hindbad awkwardly bowed his head and said, "Sir, I in number 39. Am sorry because I felt so tired that I became irritable and accidentally said something rude. Please forgive me." "Oh, brother, Don and number 39. Think I and number 39. Am too stubborn and still keep it in my heart," Sinbad said. "I sympathize with your situation, brother. Instead of blaming my friend for the complaints, I feel sorry for him. But I need to pull you out of your misunderstanding about me. Surely you think we have a comfortable life like this without having to work hard or sweat a single drop, right? You are wrong. Through many years of hardship and hard work that few people can imagine, both physically and mentally, we have become what we are today. Yes, all of you," he added to the group. "I assure you that those difficult and arduous tasks are so strange that they will make even the most greedy of wealth lose all desire. Harm overcomes the search for wealth. You have probably vaguely heard of the wonderful adventures and dangers through which I have passed through during my 7 voyages. By the way, I will tell it honestly, and I think you won and number 39. Be offended when you hear it." Because Sinbad wanted to tell his story, especially because of the porter, before starting, he sent someone to carry the porter and number 39's package on the sidewalk to the place where he intended to take it. Then he said the following. "Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story."